Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Leo with DRIPCalc, and in this video I want to make my dividend prediction for BITO, which is a Bitcoin income ETF from ProShares. So right off the bat, guys, this video is not a financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. This ETF is very risky. It is high yield but also high risk. So if you want to invest in something like this, you should definitely consult a financial advisor. And also, once again, I am asking you to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. Let's begin. And so in my last video, so basically dividend prediction for September. So I had a pretty wide spread on my prediction. It was between 80 cents and $1.40. So that's a super wide spread. And the reason for that is because at that time, I wasn't sure when they rolled their futures contracts. However, this time around, we have a little bit more knowledge because we started this a little bit earlier. So their current future positions expire on September. So October 25, end of this week. So these are the current holdings. And let me zoom it in a little bit so you can see they still hold a little bit less than half of their position which expires in October. However, they already rolled more than half. So 3,100 contracts, they already rolled it for November. And so based on that, we can kind of predict a little bit better how much they will be paying next month, so beginning of November, and that will be a dividend for October. Okay, so how does this work? Essentially, we look at the price of Bitcoin and the expiration of the futures contracts. So the future contracts, when they rolled last month, so the Bitcoin was averaging between like $63,000 and $65,000. And that's so I'm not really sure when exactly they rolled. That's why I gave a really wide spread. However, we know that they rolled into about $64,000 per Bitcoin. So right now Bitcoin is about 67.5 right here. So we already know that we're up about 5% on the Bitcoin price since then. And because we also know they already rolled more than half of their position of the futures contracts into November. If we look at Bitcoin price for 1 week, so they could have rolled over here around $67,000. So that's plus $3,000 or about plus 5% versus the previous strike price for the one expiring end of this week. So basically they will be profitable. And right now Bitcoin also sits around 67.5. Most likely they'll roll it today or within a couple of days. On top of that, they have this daily futures contracts, and because they don't post daily trades, it's really hard to track their performance. But at this point, we know that as of today, well, as of October 22nd, it says as of October 21st, but as of today, they rolled at least more than half, like 60% of their position into November. So that was a profitable trade, and we know they will be paying decent amount of money. So another thing I want to show you on this page, and it's weird how it works, but they have this NAV history link, okay, and you can download this file. However, when I was trying to download it while market was open, this link was not available. So I think it becomes available around 4:30, like 30 minutes after market closes. This is my guess. I have no idea, but I was searching through these pages. I was trying to find maybe they have another page because I remember downloading this file and it wasn't available. I was looking and looking and looking, and then 4:30 rolled in and I found this link. So I guess it becomes available or visible at 4:30 p.m. so after market closes. So now let's take a look at this file. It is very interesting. I will make it a little bit bigger. So let's zoom in. Okay, so this is they're basically daily holdings, and here we're looking at October 1st. This was their X date, dividend X date, and basically they paid a few days later. But on the X date, they had about 99,000, almost 10 million shares, 9.964 million shares outstanding. And right now, as of today, now it's not an X date, so I think by the time X date rolls in, we'll have about 11 million shares outstanding. But as of today, the shares outstanding are up by 4.4% since the previous ex-dividend date. Okay, now this is all guesswork, but here's another interesting fact. So since the declaration of last dividend, BITO, including the last dividend payment, BITO is up 6.16%, and Bitcoin is up 6.5% since the since previous ex-dividend date. And so the way I calculate is I don't take the price on the ex-dividend date, I take the price before that, because on the ex-dividend date you're not collecting the dividend. So I took this price versus this price and I added $0.09, which is actually was $0.95, so we can add that to the formula, and so it makes 6.2% up on the BITO price, including the dividend. So that's how much you've gained since the last ex-dividend date. So not bad. It almost followed the Bitcoin price gain, just a little bit less, but because you can sell options on this ETF, you can actually, in the way at least math works in my mind, you can make more money by you holding BITO, collecting the dividends. Now you have to pay the taxes on dividends, but at least you get cash flow. You can also sell calls, and that can give you a really decent additional income. But anyway, back to predicting the dividend. So knowing that we did all right on the futures, I'm predicting this week we will collect about $1.25, $1.25, okay, and the spread I would go as high as $1.35 per share and as low as $1.15. I don't think they'll pay less than last period. I think they'll pay more. Optimistic is $1.35, so pessimistic $1.15, and mid range $1.25. So, and at current price, let's calculate that. So $1.25 times 12, okay, that's 15 bucks, and divide by 19.2, that's the current price. So we're looking at about 78% forward yield. So that's my guess. It could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more. So what can affect this number is the amount of outstanding shares. And while, you know, like let's say people buy into the fund, okay, so what ProShares does, they open more futures contracts, and that basically, the more outstanding shares, the more they dilute the dividend payment. However, going forward, those money, they will, you know, because they invested into futures, that will kind of even out, and the jumps are not huge. You can see actually the funny part is in the middle of the month, the NAV kind of rises as the share price drops, but as the share price goes down, our shares outstanding kind of go down also. It's an interesting phenomenon. So I've marked several X dates over here. You can see in the middle of the month, usually like the most shares outstanding, and those people who kind of sell out of the fund towards the declaration, they kind of miss out on the dividend. And also like people who bought over here and sold over here, they lost a pretty decent amount of money. Same over here. So in the middle, when they had like the highest shares outstanding in that period, they lost about $1 per share. So that's not good. I think it's just better to hold this through the dividend date and collect the dividends. Anyway, so just a note, this is not a financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor, guys. Okay, these are just my predictions. These numbers are not guaranteed. Again, as we go through dilution, this number might decrease, but in my opinion, I like BITO because you can see it trails Bitcoin pretty fairly well. And what I'm gonna do is compare BITO directly to the Bitcoin and include the dividends. So right now I could compare it, but the problem is because Bitcoin is trading over the weekends, it messes up my reporting on Bitcoin. So I need to exclude the weekends to show you the exact performance year to date. So I need to do some fixes behind the scene, but I will do that fast or soon. And basically, I think BITO performs almost as well as Bitcoin. I think it captures about 80% of Bitcoin move, but you collect the dividends and you have the freedom to sell options on your shares, which is actually amazing and could yield a really nice returns for you. So just to demonstrate that, let's say we want to trade options. So if we go 3 months in the future, so 87 days, oops. So today you could collect $1. Where's the January expiration? So you're 3 months out, you could collect, let's say, 88 cents per share and a $21 strike. So you're almost $2 above current strike. So that's a nice return, plus 13, almost 14%, and you will collect the dividends in between. you know, and if BITO price does go above $21, you will most likely get assigned. However, you'll assign at like 14% gain in 3 months, plus you collect the dividends in the process. And if you're reinvesting dividends, then you buy shares. Let's say Bitcoin moons to say $100, I mean 100K by then. Yeah, BITO will be like trading around $30, and you don't capture that upside, but still you capture like 13%. You capture the dividends, and if you reinvest the dividends, you still buy the shares, and those shares they will collect. They will capture part of that upside. You will have fewer shares, but still. Anyway, so my strategy is I wait for a dip on Bitcoin. I buy more of the shares, and then I wait for when it runs, and that's when I sell call options. On most of my position, I'm right now holding off on selling call options. So in my Roth IRA, I did sell one contract, and I sold it for like $1.15. Yeah, right here. So I'm up $11 on it. It doesn't really matter if I get assigned. It's actually a good thing, because I also sold some $20 puts and $19 puts, and therefore those puts will expire worthless. But even if I get assigned, I collected a pretty decent amount up front. I collect the dividends in the meantime, and if I get assigned on this contract, that means I'm making money elsewhere in my traditional account and my taxable account. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a separate video just reviewing the whole fund and my investment strategy into this fund. Once again, guys, this is not financial advice, just my thoughts out loud. I want to share them with you, and my predictions for BITO dividend payment. Now, if Bitcoin moons, if it goes to say 100K, 80K, we could see payments around $1.50 or more again, maybe even significantly more. Now, it's not guaranteed, but I think even if Bitcoin stays kind of range bound for a few months, BITO price will probably suffer a little bit. I think we could go as low as like $11, $10 per share. Over here, before they were paying dividends, they went as low as like below $9 at some point, I think. Let's take a look. Well, they definitely went below $10. Over here, they weren't paying dividends. Then they started paying dividends. The shares started going up. Then over here, they paid like half a cent dividend. So the share price dropped significantly from like $17.50 to below $13. Then it mooned to 33. So this was actually a great time to sell covered calls. And so I'm waiting for this again for around $30 price. And that's when I'm going to start selling long-dated covered calls on this ETF. But I will explain all that in my strategy. Now, the reason I'm talking about potential, dividend payment, because I was asked here in the comment. It's kind of interesting. I'm not really following the math of this gentleman. So he says, assuming you have 4,200 shares of BITO and you reinvest monthly, then at the end, he says, would be making allowed around $11,400. And I'm not sure what the time frame is here, but at $1.50 to make this kind of money, you need, so divided by $1.05, you need 7,600 shares to collect this kind of dividend, and that's if they pay $1.50. Now, I think if Bitcoin does not moon, we would probably see dividends below $1 again, and share price might dip below $10 at some point. So this is very risky. That's why I repeat, this is not a financial advice. However, again, this month I think will be pretty good, and I think we'll see about $1.25 per share. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Now, quick plug. We still have about 85% of people watching my videos. They're not subscribed, so please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and that really helps the channel grow. It's still a very small channel, and it motivates me every time I see increase in subscribers. It motivates me to make more videos, so that would be awesome. Another thing, this is the first time I see that we actually started getting some ladies watching the channel. So say hi to all the ladies watching these videos. It's great. Before it was like 100% male, which is weird, but I think more women should be investing, not necessarily in high yield funds, because high yield comes with very high risk, but in general it feels like more guys are into investment than ladies. So yeah, it's good to see that this ratio is kind of flattening out a little bit, and we're increasing the number of ladies watching the channel. So great to see that. And yeah, with that said, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.